Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We are now in 2026.
Which is very hard to believe.
Yes, the holiday season came and went, and we had an amazing time. My parents made the holiday really fun while we were there. Our little guy, he loved to call nutcrackers cracker nuts. I'm not sure how those got switched, but over the holidays, nutcrackers were appearing in different places. We saw it at Dollywood and different things.
Cracker nuts everywhere.
Yep, he just switched that around. And so while we were in Michigan, he asked for cracker nut cookies a lot, and so we enjoyed those. Our little guys loved being at your parents' house as well. We don't talk as much about that because we know other family members have their YouTube channels, so you probably got an overview of that as well. But we did have a good time there, and our little guy, who's 4 now, just loves. He's a people person. We've mentioned it before, and all the little cousins that are playing there, he just has a blast.
He counts down to see the nieces and nephews, and he asks about play dates every week. Who are we going to get to see? So when a party at Mom and Dad's happened, it is just the highlight because all of his little friends are there.
Yes. So we had fun at my parents' house. We had great fun at her parents' house, and it was just a really good holiday season. Anyway, kicking off the new year, we wanted to do a Q&A, and a lot of questions pertained to the boys. Not all of them, but we're gonna hit as many of those as we can today. So,
hello, how long have you had the boys, and what's the foster care timeline possibility to adopt? The boys came to us in May. The older one came about a week earlier than the baby. He was still in the NICU. So we've had them 8 months. So yeah. I cannot actually answer what the foster timeline is because we don't really know that. We are taking it a day at a time. When they first came to us, we were told that they would need care for 5 or 6 months. And we have since passed that date. And I know that with every single foster care situation, there's just so many things at play with family, with the state, with safety, with therapies and working through traumas. So we honestly don't know the answer to that. We're just loving them like every day is our last and just enjoying it and making memories. But we don't really know what the timeline is at this moment.
Yeah. We battle anxiety from time to time, what's going to happen? How long is it going to be? And but anyway, it's just you have to give it to the Lord, and it's all subject to the progress that's made, and if in the state's eyes it's progress that's well enough for safely reunifying. And so anyway, there's a lot of variables there, and we don't know what's going to happen, and it's been stretching, but we're just trying to develop patience and appreciate answers as they come, and enjoying the journey along the way, and it has been a fun one.
Latest update on the boys. This one is just so fun. I feel like watching them grow and learn and seeing their personalities blossom, and the 4-year-old seems very comfortable, and more of his personality is coming out, and he seems free to say whatever his feelings are, whatever's happening in the moment. And it's just been so neat to watch him, especially the past few weeks. I was cleaning before Brandon was coming from work, and I was vacuuming and getting ready, and he started pulling on my dress. He's like, I don't have a job. I need a job. And just it almost brought tears to my eyes. It was such a huge milestone step to see him feel safe enough that he wanted to be a part. And he had little chores like making his bed and putting his clothes away, but he wanted to do stuff that was part of the family. And that was just it was so monumental for me. And that we have little, miniature trash cans in every room. So teaching him how to take those out and put new bags in, and then so excited to put those little bags in the big dumpster to go down to the road. And he has a miniature broom to sweep in the kitchen, the little puffies that the baby throws. And it's just, I feel like he's feeling like this is his place for now, and it's been so relieving to me to see his comfort and his just kind of settling in. He's writing his name, and so excited to show people that he can write. He's mastered 1 through 15, and he's working on 16 through 30. And he can read 4 and 5 letter words, and he's just, to see him so proud of himself for his accomplishments, and he waits to show Brandon what work he's done, or when his caseworkers come to the house, he wants to lay all his books out on the floor. and just say, I did this and I did that. And it has brought us delight to see him feel the pride of the work that he's done and to see the accomplishments. And he gets excited when new books come in the mail and he gets to read new things. So just him having a chance to show off to the different caseworkers and the different people, it's brought us so much pleasure.
Yeah, and again, when the caseworkers come to check on the boys, they continue to be amazed at our little 4-year-old's progress. And Michael works so hard with him, but he
works hard.
Well, he's a very smart little guy, and just being able to see that blossom, and really, because he does have a natural gifting.
He is.
Now, it was a little undeveloped, when he first came. So as Michael's working with them, and the schoolwork and stuff, he's just he's excelling so faster than I would think.
Yeah.
Somebody for his age, and we're just really excited to see that he's thriving in that sense, and he's enjoying it.
Yeah. He asked for desk work. He has his own little desk that he sits at, and all of his books are in it. And we weren't really going to start doing preschool, kindergarten work with him yet because he was so young, but he was struggling some with his speech. And so I thought some of the phonics blends and sounds, just introducing those and doing some fun things and saying words might be helpful with his speech. And it totally shocked me. His speech improved. It seemed like within a matter of 6 or 7 weeks, he wasn't needing speech therapy. And from that point on, just from the phonics work and getting to use pencils and crayons and markers, he was devouring it, and he started asking for more. So it wasn't something that we were we weren't going to push him with it because he was so young, but he's just loving it, and everything he get exposed to, he's just excited for more. So we're kind of letting him pace it based off of what he enjoys, because he is kind of young for schoolwork, but he's loving it.
Yeah.
For the baby, I feel like he hits a new milestone every single week. I know I've said it before. People say the baby phase is so short, and it really is. It's just like all of a sudden you see this personality, and you blink and something else has happened, and now he's mobile in the point that he rolls to whatever he wants, or he does the little army crawl. Loves food. He's moved on from baby mush to real food, and he loves chicken and bananas and strawberries, and he's all excited about food. He does this little, as soon as he sees food, or, puffs or wafers, and it's so exciting. He's starting to get sounds. He says baba and, all the vowel sounds, and mama and dad, and it's just hearing the boys play together. The older one makes the little one laugh, and they play peekaboo every day and patty cake, and he's old enough for them to interact together, and they just sit on the floor and they play trains and magnet tiles, and it's so sweet to watch.
It was crazy. Before we went to Israel last month, the baby was, we could sit him up and he'd be there, but you had to be there to support him.
Kind of wobbly.
Right, because he would just, fall over if you weren't there to...
We had this little boppy...
To break the fall.
That's what you call it, boppy pillow.
Oh,
around
yeah.
him.
But anyway, that's where he was. And then when we came back, just, shy of 2 weeks later, he was already sitting up by himself. And he was not falling over anymore. And he had, just kind of like, oh man, he really is growing up fast.
Mm-hmm. He's learned from brother how to growl, and it is so cute.
He has mastered the growl.
Yes. I think if I didn't see it every day, I'd worry something was wrong or he was scared, but it's just playful, and he laughs at himself when he growls, and it's so cute.
It is.
I love that you're fostering. Is adopting the boys a possibility? Praying for you always.
We are so grateful for the prayer. I think it is such an emotional roller coaster, just going through the different feelings and working through things, and we are so grateful for the messages. There's a lot that pop in the DMs that say they're praying for us, and thank you so much for that. As far as adoption, I feel like from what we're understanding about foster care, and like we said, we're only 8 months in, but with foster care, it seems like reunification is always the goal until it becomes that it's just not a safe option. I mean, if the boys were up for adoption, we'd love them so deeply. But at this point, that goal is still reunification, and we pray for their birth family, and we're just loving them while they're in our care.
How do you prepare yourself for the possibility of the boys going back to their birth mother?
I think this is one of the things that definitely causes mixed emotions, because wanting, home to be safe where it could be a wonderful place, and then dealing with anxiety of, well, what if it's not? And just giving that to the Lord over and over again, and being honest with their caseworkers so that they are up to date with everything that's said, and keeping great notes, and hoping and praying that progress is being made on the other side that will also help their lives change. Because for everybody involved, the best case scenario is for their birth family to get the help and whatever's needed for them personally and for the boys. We have books for both of the boys with milestones and places we've taken them, and first, and Christmas and holidays and just memories. So preparing in that way, if they are able to go home, to give them that, trying to be just very open-handed, to trust that God's going to know best.
You do have to deal with a roller coaster of, feelings here, because it seems like one thing one day and then it, shifts the next day. And we do want their parents to succeed and to make the improvements that are necessary to have a safe home and to raise kids safely. And so that's a plus, that's a good thing. But your hearts get attached, obviously, when they're in your care, and that's not a bad thing. But life itself is a gift from God that we don't know how long we have it for. And if we take that seriously and invest it in the right direction, there will be a reward, reaped for that. And it's the same with the boys. It's just like we've been given a period of time. We don't know how long, but we do have a little longer. We do know that right now. We have a little longer in just redeeming the time we have to give them what they need to succeed in the future.
I feel like I have learned so much from people who've taken the time to send me messages or notes, who were raised in foster care or who were adopted, who took the time just to explain some of their feelings, because I didn't have that experience, so it's hard to know. And I think one of the things that has been so helpful for me is allowing the kids to feel like they belong without making statements or things that make this seem like it is a forever home, because we don't know. But like I shared earlier with the older one wanting chores and responsibilities, letting him be a part and wanting him to know that this is a safe place. I feel like we're learning as we go, but letting them have a sense of belonging for however long they're here, but trying to be careful that we don't make it feel permanent.
Will you ever show the kids' faces?
At this point, while they're in foster care, we will not show their faces. That's part of the legality. If we were to adopt any children, I think it's something that we would have to talk through and pray through, just because it's not our story. And there's so many things that I feel like we want to keep private just for the kids, that they can grow up and tell which pieces of their story they want to share with the friends that they decide to share them with whatever children are in our family. So we don't have a definite answer on that. These kiddos are adorable, so I feel like at some point, if they did stay with us, we would share, family pictures or Christmas pictures. But I honestly don't think either of us really know at this point.
How to have more patience when you're overwhelmed?
In the moment when you're overwhelmed, it's something you can't always avoid, but sometimes you can. Or at least you can maybe avoid it in the future. As we've met with different things, it kind of surprised us, and it seemed, when they stack up, obviously it gets overwhelming really quickly. And so just stopping and planning ahead for the next time, this is what happened, and, that was not how we would have preferred that to pan out. How can we change that in future? How can we make it better? And that really has just being able to plan ahead, and also to be able to read the kids and know why, when things start drifting in a certain direction, as far as their behavior is concerned, it's just like, oh, okay, what's setting that off? And we've talked about it, and it's just kind of like these things would probably help that.
If the kids are reacting, thinking through those same questions for them, like, when was the last time they had something to drink, or when was the last time they had a snack? Because sometimes things that cause lack of patience are resolved when you stop for a moment and realize,
Get a
like,
snack.
what's kind of, but like, what's actually going on? Did their toy roll under the couch and they can't actually reach it, and it's a meltdown? But they're not really throwing a fit. They just don't have the capacity in the moment to tell you with their words that it's missing. So I feel like I'm trying to learn to kind of take a step back and analyze if I feel overwhelmed. Like, what's the big picture just for a second? If we just left the zoo and it's starting to be like, I don't want to leave. I mean, yes, I don't want to leave when I'm in the middle of something too, but do we need to use the bathroom before we go? Did we have a snack? Are we hydrated? I don't know. I feel like I'm learning as we go, and just we're trying to figure out things that work. But then I think another thing, and I don't know which side the question was related to, but Brandon will load the boys up and they'll take a jog on a trail. He'll put them in the stroller. That way I can get through paperwork, because there is a lot, especially near the end of the month, that sometimes feels overwhelming with foster care. Just documenting so much and turning it into the different caseworkers and so forth. And there's so many people involved, and different paperwork goes to different people, and then all the appointments and all the therapies, and just checking everything off can be another thing that feels very overwhelming. Just taking the kids for a little drive, or going to the park, or having a stroller ride, and giving me that hour to get through all of those things. That has really helped with relieving the overwhelming, because then I can get it done a lot quicker, and I don't tend to get as short when I'm not trying to do two things at once. So
Teamwork.
Are you two happy?
Are you happy?
I feel like we're in such a fulfilling season of life, and I think it's not happy 100% of the time. There's definitely, during every season of life, ups and downs, but I feel very content and very satisfied. There's something exciting about the little guy waiting for Brandon to come home from work. So I think we're enjoying this season to the fullest, and so grateful for the opportunity, and it definitely brings a very rich delight.
And in relation to this question, so much of it is about perspective and what you're looking at. Because to be quite honest, there are times where it's just like I am dissatisfied with life, that it's just like other people have these opportunities, other people have these things, other people have, X, Y, Z. And when you get into the comparison game, there's no end to it. If you look at those things, you're not going to be happy. Mm-hmm. That's just the long and short of it.
It'll steal all your joy.
It will. When I stop and think about what God has given and the specific things that I'm experiencing right now that I easily overlook, the little guy waking up in the morning, and if I haven't gone to work yet, him smiling at me, and he's happy to see me in the morning.
So happy to see you.
And in the moment, it's just kind of like I'm getting things around for work. Oh, I need to get to work on time. Your mind is elsewhere, but stopping, just being like, we have little kids in our home, and they're loving being here, and they're happy to see us. And there's so many things we don't have that don't matter. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things that I overlook every day that are treasures, absolute treasures. And when my perspective is on those things, we have a good life. And it's just like...
Yeah, my favorite life.
And it's just like, I am happy. It's just like, yeah, I can get disgruntled and discontent about so many things, but it's just like, wait, look at what you have. And when I look at the wife I have and the little foster boys I have, I couldn't have enough money to get the joy I'm getting from these gifts right now. I couldn't pay for it. Mm-hmm. And long answer to a short question, but yes. So much of it depends on perspective, but for me, I would honestly, genuinely have to say I'm happy.
I don't think I've ever been happier.
She's glowed a little bit more brightly in the past few months.
I feel like we're living all of the things that we prayed for. I'm enjoying so much more and so much happier because I value the things a little more that really matter than I did just a few years ago.
Something you were looking forward to in 2026.
looking forward to this coming year. There's possibly some video changes that are going to be happening in relation to our YouTube channel. There's been some things on our heart, on my heart, just kind of Bible related. I guess you could say kind of in the Bible study genre maybe, but just some things that have been, that the Lord has really been putting on my heart that I'm excited to share. For any of those interested on that, stay tuned. We're hopefully going to have something in the near future here. But other than that, we are looking forward to what the Lord has in store for this year. It's started off different than any other year we've had, and we are very excited about where we are currently. We still have questions for the future, and it'll be interesting to see what happens and when. Until we have definite answers, we'll wait on the Lord and take it one step at a time.
And enjoy every day.
Yes. Thank you again for watching today and listening to this Q&A, and we hope to see you next time.